tried, but she purposely failed things so she wouldn't have to be valedictorian of the class because she was too shy to speak.
She was
in
too shy
public.
to speak? It was just the speech. It was the
Speech.
one speech.
Mm.
Jesus. So this is what I just wanted to come back to this, just do this last like little heartbreak thing where I say this, and then what's so interesting is like this is me, I wanted to believe that you could depend on someone so much, and then this is the thing where Grandpa says, everything else seems secondary. I want it that way.
I'm not going to read this, am I?
Well, I don't know. I can say like, well, I was looking through the letters and whatever.
I think you should read these.
Okay.
Because they're men speaking and...
Yeah, well, fine. But just feel free to jump in and comment on at anything at any point. I wanted to believe I wanted to believe, I still do, I guess, that you could depend on someone that much. That, we have all these love songs about, being my everything and dying I'll die without you,
Yeah.
and then, if you were hearing this in some sexy voice, like, I can't imagine my life without you, like, I'd never live another day, and we go, oh, that's so romantic. But if it's something that isn't working out and you hear the same thing, like, I can't imagine my life without you. You're like, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. You should never put yourself in that position.
Right. But you see, our hormones speak regardless of the situation.
It's terrible language that they speak in.
Yeah, right.
But
That's it. They make that the only thing, and they have it set on high, so that. Oh, so sorry. I realized that.
I mean, it's that we want to believe that one thing is possible at the same time we know it is so dangerous. It's maybe not possible. I don't believe it's not possible. I just believe that it takes both sides being committed to that as an idea. It's like Tinkerbell, man. If you believe in it, it'll work. If you don't, it won't. So you go. So it's made possible by if you believe that this other person is the perfect thing for you and can be that, then he can be. If she also believes the same thing, and you know that you've chosen to believe that, you don't believe it because you have to. You make the choice to believe it. But if you stand behind it, then it comes true. And if you don't, then it doesn't. It's crazy. But I would rather live with that. Maybe it's my, thrill-seeking, sort of risk-addicted personality. And I just wanted to gamble. I figured, I'd put...
See how much she could take.
No, it wasn't that. It was
you
to
would
see
test
how much love could be. Should see if it could be that thing where you say, I'll die without this. To see if you could put yourself in that place where you go, I'll die if I don't have this, but luckily I have it, thank God.
Yeah.
And you can't ever feel what that feels like unless you let yourself get in that deep. But that's the place where everybody says, don't get into that place. Don't put yourself in this place where you actually depend on another person. I thought I'd put
being able to depend on a person I think it's a necessary part, that you can depend on a person, but on the other hand, it can't be all. It can't be all. I mean, I can depend on the lady that was here today, and but there has to be more to our relationship than that. So it's only a part of it.
Yeah, but that's what's so unique about this as one kind of relationship.
And when the dependency becomes so necessary to your life, then you perhaps, and even if you know it when you're doing it, while you're doing it, you figure, well, at least most of my life I'll be happy and have this necessary part of me taken care of, that I do depend on this. How would I feel if I didn't depend on it?
You would feel less volatile, and I'd also feel less alive.
So you get less of something and more of something else.
Yeah, but I think that part that matters most to me is that thing that gets to connect to that huge energy that comes out of this,
Out of the dependency, knowing that you can depend.
I don't know. It's not the dependency that's great. It's the depth that's great. It's not. The dependency comes as a necessary part of putting yourself in, a byproduct of walking in so deep that you're in it. You're just in it.
I'm. How can I say something sort of on the side? I think we should make our statements very understandable and not in such rich
Sure.
analogies that nobody will get it.
Fine, I know. I will do my best. But speak, however.
I dropped something, but I don't know what.
Like, you saw me here like a couple months after.
Yes.
And for the most part, I was sort of evidence of somebody that had lost something he needed to survive. I was like, overcooked spaghetti trying to run a marathon. I was like, and
you were in bad shape.
I'm
but when you had all this daredevil side of you that had gotten you into the state that you were in.
That's just it. That's the risk.
And you weren't prepared for the effect on you if your experiment didn't work out in your favor, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, what we hope is that enlightenment will slowly, doesn't have to suddenly hit you, but I think one day after you've had several
drinks,
maybe, or puffs, or even experiences with other people who don't disappoint you, that this will, in the same way that, if you recall, I read a poem to you about my broken heart, and the same way that has a totally different shape to it now than it has had then.
I'm still not convinced that I'll be, as happy in a life where I can't believe in those fairy tales. That fairy tale that there is that
another chance.
No, not that. That there is this that perfect thing that if you trust in it fully, and that it can exist. That you believe in something where you, like, where that I'll die without you thing. I'm still not convinced that I'll be,
okay sometime.
No, I think I will, but as intensely happy.
Oh.
In a place where you can't believe in those fairy tales that someone being your everything, that you die without a person, that you could actually be in that place and be on the good side of it, be on the winning side of that feeling. and now this is I feel like holding on to that as an idea is
that
really dangerous. But it's like, why can't I believe that, two people who need each other in a way could somehow give and get equally, so they remain balanced, like a house of cards.
The whole thing isn't on your side. The next person, or not the next, but the person that you eventually find takes your heart, has entirely different input to the pairing than your original.
But so
one did.
Then do you just decide, what, I'm going to believe in this as a Tinkerbell? And
you don't decide what you believe. You
but
find.
You sort of do, don't you? I mean, don't
but
people
yes,
put up guards so they don't let themselves get quite so deep? And it's just not worth it for me to be distanced like that.
Well, then that would maybe impair your being as close to that person.
not putting up the barriers. So you'd have nothing that keeps you further apart, but that also makes you so much more vulnerable to what it is that might happen.
Well, you don't I think you don't make a decision like that. I think that something in you says, this, I really believe in this, and you don't intellectualize it at all. You wake up one day and say, my God, I'm in love. This is really, this is it. That's all. I mean, you don't want to, there's no question of your choosing someone just to have somebody.
No, not that. But after the falling in love part, then
the development.
Then believing more than could ever really be there. Then just believing, this is.
Well, you're not creative. You don't have to be creative. You shouldn't be. You should just let it happen, and how it is. Your reactions to her will be totally different in different situations than the same situations with another person. If you meet two people that are lovable, and one relationship is going to develop more than the other without your saying, oh, I think I'll develop this one, because assuming you're exposed, if you'll excuse the expression, to each equally. I mean, you're taking them both out, you're doing the same thing. Why? I mean, in your friendships. Ooh, I'm sorry. In your everyday friendships with say guys or girls, you don't say, "Ooh, I've got to hold myself back in this," not let them know how interesting I find this guy's conversation or anything like that.
But sometimes.
Or maybe he may, betray me or something like that. Or this girl.
I think we're guarded a little bit towards.
But then you let it go, or you don't have the complete relate. That's entirely up to you.
That's what I'm saying.
People...
That's towards everyone, except I think the person that you're, in love with. If you decide I'm entering into a relationship like a monogamous, that one person, that's the one person I think that you have the option really of being totally unfiltered.
Unfiltered, did you say?
Yeah, but
you don't have only one opportunity
to unfilter yourself.
No, to be in that kind of a relationship. I have a feeling you think there's only one opportunity and you've already spent it.
I just think that there's always a difference after the first time that you realize I could make all the conscious and mostly unconscious decisions that say I'm gonna go in deeper than I know I can get out. This is like if I were like swimming the English Channel or whatever, and where I knew, I can always swim back, 5 miles. I know I can make it 5 miles, and I've never gone longer than that. This is the point where I've gone more than 5 miles off of one bank, and that's it. I'm in it now,
Well, I mean, I've seen you take choices like that on film when you jumped off the cliff. Where was that? Into a body of water.
Somewhere in the Middle East. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, but and you're right, because you want to feel like you can make these choices that are a bit beyond you, and then when they happen, it feels so good to be in. That feels great to feel that intensity. I think I crave that intensity in a way, and maybe
more than just trusting love.
No, it's saying I'm gonna trust in this 1,000,000,000%, and I'm not gonna question that at all. And so now, everything about it affects me. Like with I have friends that I don't trust that much. Like I don't trust that much to show up somewhere. And so, if they're 20 minutes later, they're an hour later, they don't come, I don't really register it in the same way. It's just like, okay, whatever, that's what happened. But say if you trust somebody in the sense that you understand them, you believe, you know how they'll respond in different ways. Then if they didn't do that, you'd go, okay, wait, what's going on? I need to, that means something. There's a message that they didn't show up. It's not, it goes against what I thought I knew perfectly well, And so if you trust 1,000,000,000% in some relationship, and then sort of things happen and you're going, wait, that doesn't really quite make sense, then it starts to affect you much more than if you didn't take it very seriously.
You can give an example of a trust situation that didn't pan out for you. I mean, what you're talking about.
The whole thing, essentially, which is not like, it's not, there's so much that I did, and so much of this seeking answers was, so much of this experimenting was like, poking on something, going, well, like, what's happening with, I don't know. What am I talking about? I just
want to get on to another.
I believe in like the house of cards, where you can have two cards that are leaning against each other at the right way, and it seems stupid and fragile, but it's beautifully balanced, really, really fragile. But then, why do we build these things? There's something nice about it.
Yeah.
That seems like a real downer. Let's
Doesn't it?
Let's disappear for a bit. We'll be right back.
Right. I was thinking why there was something we should stop for. I want my pills. Great. My morning pills. Right?
You're welcome to. Anything? Can we sing a song called Downer Interlude?
You know it. You write it. I'll sing it.
It's something like, this is a downer interlude. Downer interlude.
Well, we have to get a little tune to it, or I can't sing it.
Okay. Okay. Why don't I'll bring the keyboard in here.
Yeah, well, but when
I'm going to bring the keyboard in.
This last discussion we have has not been recorded.